Chairman. I wanted to, in addressing the committee, I'll try to keep these remarks short. I wanted to address a little background information into the 2010 amendment to the Article 10 of the NAR Code of Ethics with regard to sexual orientation. At the time that we introduced that, I think that the consensus was that we introduced addressing sexual orientation with the goal that we would eventually reinterpret that to include gender identity. That was discussed. And let me give you from the HRC website a definition of gender identity, because I think this is a term that is often misunderstood. That website describes gender identity as, quote, a person's innate, deeply felt psychological identification as male or female, which may or may not correspond to that person's body or sex at birth. We with the National Association of Lesbian Realtors, feel that gender identification was not adequately or completely addressed in the 2010 Code of Ethics change. Earlier this year, prior to the Hope Awards, we had Under Secretary John Trasvina speak at our NAGLREP award ceremony. That ceremony was to honor the Wisconsin Realtors Association for bringing this proposal to this committee initially. And at his speech, Mr. Trasvina emphasized the importance of protections for transgender individuals. You have in front of you some copies of a HUD guidance regarding LGBT housing discrimination complaints. You'll notice in the first paragraph it states, the new guidance treats gender identity discrimination most often faced by transgender individuals, persons, as gender discrimination under the Fair Housing Act. It goes on several paragraphs later to state, last October, HUD Secretary Sean Donovan announced a series of measures to ensure that the agency's core housing programs are open to all, regardless of sexual orientation or gender identity. In the subsequent pages of this handout that you have, you'll notice that there is emphasis again on housing discrimination against lesbian, gay, bisexual, and transgender individuals and families. The National Association of Gay and Lesbian Real Estate Professionals is a voice for gay, lesbian, bisexual, and transgender individuals in housing. It is not merely a voice for gay and lesbian individuals in housing. So our request here, the request I'm bringing to this committee, in order to bring the code in line with HUD policy, we're requesting that this clarification or interpretation, which would include gender identity, be placed on the agenda of this committee, perhaps at mid-year 2012, with the goal of bringing a recommendation, hopefully a recommendation of passage by the Professional Standards Committee of the National Association of Realtors. In other words, that we would pass it along to them with our recommendation. That's the purpose for my requesting at this moment with the committee. Thank you.
Thank you, Eric.